Hello, Al Pals. Welcome to Tuesday Night Chat with Big Al and Troy. And as that implies, with me as usual, or at least in the last couple of weeks, Mr. Troy Pacelli, the Klingon cleric, is here with me. How you doing, sir?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me. I feel like we need some intro music, kind of like the Fan Man does.
Yeah, but you know how
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to do that
that
either.
works.
So I am not necessarily saying it. I
Yeah,
just feel like something's missing.
he's got a whole soundboard, but we also know the headaches that also
I was just
causes.
gonna say, yeah, I mean, he's Mr. Professional and he still has technical problems. So
Yeah, I could. I wish I could play. Yeah, I wish I could play my little intro music that I do on when I do a video. Dun 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 dun. Dun. You know that little. It's called "Gaiety in the Golden Age." I love that. It just reeks of coolness. But let's see who is here. Owen Lister was first. Booyah. Yes, it was. And of course, he had to make the mistake of getting it Die Hard 2 being Christmas movie just because it had snow. Sorry.
I don't
Lots of
think
films
I
have
don't
snow.
think it's a mistake to get into it. I just think he's getting a little ahead of himself by talking about Die Hard 2. We haven't even
Getting a little
established Die
head.
Hard 1 yet.
Yeah. First, you got to work on Die Hard 1. I will establish simply having a Christmas song in the film does not make it a Christmas movie. I will look up examples when I know they're out there. And just having snow doesn't mean it's a Christmas movie because, John Carpenter's The Thing. Lots of snow, not a Christmas movie. So
Yeah, but that's not seasonal snow. That's a place that's snow all year round. I mean, that's kind of.
Okay, what was that? Okay, Day After Tomorrow, not a Christmas movie. Lots of snow.
Also, I would argue not necessarily seasonal. That's more, apocalyptic end of the world stuff.
Well, still not a Christmas movie.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. I mean, you're right. It's not a Christmas movie.
But yeah, I just think it's funny. Yeah, we got Casey Scott in the house. How you doing, sir? Andrew Boomer, Daniel Heron, Matchstick in the building. Janice Zeal in the house. No. And of course, that music has such a heavy heart today.
Oh gosh, yeah.
We'll get into that in a minute. Exact change only. How you doing? Is Star Wars Holiday Special a Christmas movie? No. I put to you it is not a Christmas movie or a Christmas show of any kind. It is a Life Day special. So there you go. And an acid dream, as I think some people
I have to agree with that. That's for sure.
But yeah, the whole Die Hard thing. I'm going to have fun with that. Yes, we're going to watch Die Hard the week after, so a week and a half ish, a little more than a week and a half. The 14th, I believe. Yeah, 14th. Oh man, Friday the 13th in December. The Fan Man's got to do a movie that night. He has to. We'll see.
Friday
I'll have
the
to do
13th,
it.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. Yeah, we got a Friday the 13th. Sadly, that Black Christmas movie is coming out. And I've been watching, I've seen some of the ads for it. And this is, oh my God, the go woke thing.
Really?
That is a woke horror film if ever I've heard one. Just the ads of it is it's appalling. I want nothing to do with it because first of all, it doesn't even sound interesting, and they're just borrowing the title. It sounds like, but
You mean it's not even like a remake of the original?
I don't. It doesn't say. I don't. Well, see, I've never seen the original.
Yeah, me neither.
Gonna watch the original with the Fan Man's planning a rewatch of the original either just before the Friday before Thanksgiving, geez, Christmas, or couple days after. I'm not sure. Depends on his schedule. That is yet to be determined. See, we got 12 people in here. We got 6 thumbs up. Come on. There's only half of you. I want more thumbs up. I want thumbs up. Give me thumbs up. That sounds so wrong, but anyway. but you know what? I also wanted to make a statement. I want to try to keep things okay. After our first topic tonight, I want to try to keep things a little more rosy, cheery, happy, because it seems like there's so much negativity going on.
You might want to think about getting a new co-host then.
Well, I mean,
And I don't mean the fan man.
well, there's going to be negative things said, but we can say it in a fun, happy way.
So let me give everyone a peek behind the curtain. So earlier today, I'm at work and I get an instant message from Al, and it's the picture he's using as the thumbnail for tonight's thing. And he says, "Thoughts?" And I responded, "Thoughts? Oh, you'll get my thoughts." Oh, you mean about this graphic? Well, yeah, that's pretty okay.
Yeah, well, every week I try to pick 3 or 4 things that seem to be kind of trending, at least in my world. Like I said, we're different from the professor. We're less involved with the comic side, more about TVs, films, sci-fi. You're big into toys, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, I got some things I can share about toys. I just saw if this will take less than 30 seconds. I just saw that the retro collection that Hasbro had done last year that like never made it to stores and nobody could find, and they were just gone. They're re-releasing them again in February in packs of 12, so you get the whole collection at once for like $63.
So these are what genre?
Star Wars. Oh, I'm sorry.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the original what, 6 the original 6 figures that well, let me take a look. I still have the screen up. Yeah, the original 6 figures: Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, Stormtrooper, and Darth Vader. Basically the way they came out in 78.
Oh wow! So a little 3 and 3/4
inch. Yeah, almost identical. On the same card backs. The only difference is the card backs have a sticker slapped on them that says retro. But but if you want, Toy Polloi has a great video about how to remove those stickers. The other downside that a lot of people had about them is that the remade figures don't the way they're molded, they don't hold their accessories very well at all.
But I must ask, as being a fan from the early days and having those early toys, Han Solo's head, big or small?
It is the big head.
Oh, see,
I know wrong. That's what I'm disappointed in too. Yeah,
Han Solo. For those of you who don't know, the head on his figure initially was really small, comparatively. It just looked small. Like his hair was plastered to his head, but then they corrected it on subsequent.
But they kind of overcompensated, and I felt like they gave him too big a head. But yeah, it is the big head version that's out. Although I do have to say, it does look more proportionate to his body. But yeah, not the better of the 2 sculpts in my opinion.
Matchstick, if I want a thumbs up that admit Die Hard is a Christmas movie, I can't. It's not. It's just not.
Give him a thumbs down, Matt.
Okay, I do not consider Die Hard to be a Christmas movie. We will now, like I said, I'm going to give it all fair going over. It's been a long time since I've watched it. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing it again, and we'll be watching it on the 14th, and you guys can bombard me with questions. You can bombard me with examples all throughout that film to convince me it is a Christmas movie. But I do have a criteria that must be met in order for this thing for me to be considered a Christmas movie.
That was one of the things I was going to bring up. Do you have, what is your criteria for a Christmas movie? And before you say, you must consider all the movies that are generally considered to be Christmas movies must then also meet that criteria. Be very careful.
Oh man, Mr. Scientific Method here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can't promise that, but I will say that not all Christmas movies need to meet all criteria, but they need to meet at least most of the criteria. In some
So
way or
more
other.
than 50%.
Yeah, let's say that. Now I don't
Okay.
have a ready list. This is all in my head.
That's fair.
It's a gut feeling. I know it when I see it, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
no, I'm not
I
gonna
will
buy
admit,
it. I can't define pornography, but I know it when I see it.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I will say it does meet a few criteria right off the bat. A couple. I'll
What
give you.
you
It
mean Die
has
Hard does?
Die Hard does. It
Okay.
takes place at Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
which a Christmas movie needs to do, or at least lead up to
It's
Christmas.
got a good deal of Christmas music in it.
And Christmas music is one of the things too.
True.
However, the overall plot needs to revolve deeply around Christmas of some sort.
I also really do like the whole.
That's the big lacking.
There is a little Easter egg joke in there that kind of. It couldn't have been intentional to poke fun at the whole idea of Die Hard being a Christmas movie, because I'm sure they weren't thinking about that as they were making it. But there is a little joke within it that does seem to be a meta contextual joke about whether or not Die Hard constitutes Christmas. We'll talk about that when we get to it.
We'll do it. And between now and then, I'll try to kind of come up with a more concrete criteria, like a few points here and there.
Well, I'll tell you, the one point that's been made that settles it. Mara Jade says Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Al, just deal with it. And when the woman speaks, the man better listen.
Hi, first of all, hi, Mara Jade.
Yeah, that's not going to go very well, depending on what the next thing is you say.
And second of all, even if the star of the film says it's not a Christmas movie, who am I to go against that?
Well, who is all of the New York and LA Police Department? Did you see that article today?
No.
Yep. New York and NYPD and LAPD officially confirmed Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Okay, what makes them the authority?
They're cops, and it's a cop movie.
Okay, well, see, I mean, that's just it. It's a cop movie. It's not a Christmas movie.
But
it's not a Christmas cop movie.
It's a Christmas cop movie. That's exactly
it's a cop
right.
movie. It's a cop movie. It's not a Christmas movie.
Cops celebrate Christmas too. Okay. Are you discriminating against police officers? Do you have something against the men in blue? I think that's just terrible. Al, you don't support the police department.
Hashtag cops are wrong about Die Hard. That's all I gotta say.
Nope. Because Blue Lives Matter, my friend.
I love our blue. I love the.
Owen Lister, absolutely right. Who am I to argue with the police? Anyone who's ever been pulled over by the police knows not to argue with the police.
I'll argue with them about Die Hard. I'm not going to argue with them about if I was speeding or not. That's a whole different matter.
But what makes them the authority? They are the authority. So Agent Boomer says
on Christmas movies.
That's an excellent point.
They're not the authority on what wine goes best with fish. So they're you've got to go to the right authority. A police officer.
Look who's talking about whining.
I'm just saying. Okay, well, first of all, let's get off this because
that's really a topic for another night.
We've got a whole night ahead of this.
One more topic. It won't take more than 30 seconds because there isn't a lot of news about it. But I don't think a lot of people have seen this yet. Just announced today, a new Planet of the Apes movie in production, and it's the first. What do they call it? Big title redevelopment treatment being done since the Disney acquisition by Fox.
So this is yet another remake.
Or
is this a continuation?
That's just it, and that's why it's not going to take us more than 30 seconds to talk about, because I just basically said all that we know about it. That it's Wes Ball is spearheading the thing. He's the guy that did Maze Runner, but beyond that, we have no idea if it's a remake of the '68 film, if it's a sequel
which I've never seen, and I have no need to. Maze Runner, that is
right, exactly.
Now I will say, fan of the original, the
Mhm.
you know, Charlton Heston, that's brilliance,
Yep.
top to
Agreed.
bottom. Tim Burton, no,
Yeah, no.
just no, no,
I
no.
wanted to like it, but I did not.
Marky Mark, no. I
No.
mean, stunning visuals,
Yep.
especially that blonde. But the film,
I
no, it
don't
wasn't
even
Planet of
remember
the
the
Apes.
blonde.
They try to overthink it, overdo it,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Now, I will, full disclosure, have not seen any of the new ones.
Really?
Yeah,
I do
none of
have
the
to say
ones
that
that
I have
you
held
know
up
with
I have held up those movies as that's how you reboot something.
yeah,
You don't take away from the original. It all could totally fit in the same continuity. There's
mhm.
no reason it couldn't. And I even went so far as to say the way it was going, if they had gotten far enough and they wanted to eventually remake the original using actors, that they, developed along the way, I might have been okay with it, but I don't know. I don't know where they're going with this. I just threw that news out because it was announced, but that doesn't
Wow,
really
yeah,
mean anything because we don't know if it's going to be a remake, a
right,
sequel, both,
right.
neither, complete
Because
reboot.
the new ones kind of just simply start at the beginning as
Yes.
as opposed to go in the future, which is fine. But they never go into the realm of the first original '70s film, right?
Well, no, they don't. Although they do kind of blow away the continuity of the Cornelius coming back in time, having a
Right.
son, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
forth. But in 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 doing that, though, they still do homage it, and they mention some of the same characters, Caesar, and so forth,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
so that's actually a pretty good thing. So
Of course, that film also with a great performance by Ricardo
Ricardo
Montalban.
Montalban, absolutely. Oh man,
Uh,
he was great.
yeah, the like I said, a child of the '70s and '80s. Those originals are that was that's just held up there to me. There's some
Yeah,
fantastic stuff. No, no, but I can't really say anything against the new ones because one,
you
haven't
haven't
seen
seen them.
them,
Yeah,
and two, I they look interesting to me. So there is something I eventually might
I was going to
maybe.
say if you have any interest, I would encourage you to check them out because
Yeah,
they
I might
were
check
really
them out one
good.
day. Yeah, I
Yeah.
might have to check them out one day. Um, but as
Okay,
I
so that
noted
was
on
more
our
than
thing,
30 seconds. Sorry about that,
oh, that's
everybody.
all right. Hey, that's it. This is a free flowing kind of a discussion kind of deal.
But we should
But
definitely jump into the topics you had set aside.
yeah, and I wanted to let's get the sad one out of the
Yeah.
way. The sad one out of the way.
Yeah,
Uh,
Star Trek 4, damn it. Oh, no, that's not what you meant.
that's sad.
We'll
That's
get to
sad.
that one.
That's a different kind of a sad. And who
Yeah.
knows? Um, DC Fontana.
Gosh.
Any Star Trek fan worth their salt knows who
Yep.
DC Fontana is. Dorothy Fontana was. I mean, she is probably as has as much to do with the success of Star Trek,
If not more so.
if not more so than Roddenberry. I
Yes.
mean, Roddenberry created the concept. She really created
She developed it.
some of the
I mean,
best stories,
I
developed some
mean,
great
I
lore.
personally see Gene Roddenberry is more like Bob Kane and Dorothy Fontana as Bill Finger. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you had the idea, but all the important stuff that we came to love came from Dorothy Fontana.
But but DC Fontana passed away,
80
and
years old. I mean, good show, old girl. Man.
yeah, and I mean, and think that's like 80. I'm surprised one, she was only 80, but she was young when she was working on Star
Yes,
Trek.
she was.
And to
That's
know,
another thing. Yeah.
and of course, this was the days back in the '60s where she had to use DC Fontana because
Right.
a female writer was not taken as seriously as a male writer.
And
Uh,
we're not just talking how many of the episodes of the original series animated series Next Gen that she wrote, but
Um,
she was an uncredited writer and co-writer and rewriter of a lot of the episodes.
yeah, she wrote. She even wrote for Deep Space Nine.
One episode of Deep
One
Space
episode.
Nine. Yep.
I think Dax, I believe. Uh,
Yes.
but
Which
looking,
was one of my favorite episodes.
looking at her career, it is amazing the things that this woman touched in her time.
She also
Like
wrote
I
one of
said,
my favorite Star Trek books,
yeah,
Vulcan's Glory.
yeah. But she, besides all the Star Treks, she wrote a couple episodes for $6 Million Man.
Oh,
She wrote
that's right.
an
Yeah.
episode of Land of the Lost, Logan's Run. She was a story editor and wrote 3 episodes for that. Wrote an episode for Buck Rogers. Wrote an episode for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Man.
Babylon 5. She wrote 3 episodes. Yes, I'm reading this, by the way, as I'm going on. Earth Final Conflict.
See, you're not supposed to tell people that. You're supposed to let people think, hey, you know this stuff
Think
off the
that
top of your head, you know?
well, let's just say no. But I just wanted to just kind of like bring her up because she was a powerhouse in the Trek universe.
You can say
And
that she brought about many of the elements of lore about about who the Vulcans were, about Spock's history, a lot of the character development that we came to associate with those characters. That all came from DC Fontana.
and there were some things that never saw the light of day. She wrote the original uh, the way to Eden, but but instead of Chekhov's ex-girlfriend, she wanted to put McCoy's daughter.
That's right.
Which I think would have been a very much deeper emotional episode. But
Agreed.
that's fine. But yes, just I really just wanted to bring that up. Definitely, rest in peace, and just a great loss for the Trek community. And okay, no more sad thoughts.
Yeah.
The the next thing is as Troy and I were talking about before we came on. He asked what I was doing. I was like watching the last part of an Arrow.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're still watching that? I was like, yeah, I'm still with Arrow. It's plus it's only got a few more episodes left. I think maybe 3 total, possibly 2. But we still got Crisis coming up, and I wish I knew how to share a screen. But then again, it's just it's a picture. I don't know how to thing it. I wish I knew where the article came from. But there's this wonderful picture of Brandon Routh as Superman clutching the throat of Tyler Hoechlin's Superman from Supergirl, the Superman who has been so pathetically treated. And it literally, that one image says everything about what I think of those two actors and their Superman. Brandon looks like Superman in that shot, and Tyler Hoechlin looks like a kid cosplaying Superman.
So I'm going to just say what I'm sure you and Fan Man and so many others have probably been thinking when you see that. And you're like, yes, I feel vindicated. Okay. Because this soy man that we've had on Supergirl, who gets trounced by Supergirl and says, oh, definitely you're more powerful than I am, clearly not as powerful as the well, I guess you'd say the inheritor of the Christopher Reeve,
of the tree.
because
they have stated that this Superman, the Kingdom Come Superman, is the future Reeve Superman.
Yeah.
So,
which kind of makes sense because that does seem
now,
to be what the Reeve Superman was kind of intended to be in Superman Returns, which, by the way, is the rewatch for this Friday. Is that right?
Who did what? Oh no, Saturday.
Saturday. That's what I mean. Yeah, this Saturday. Right.
Yeah, Saturday night. Saturday night we will be Superman Returns on the Professor Geek channel. Not sure
Yep.
what time yet. Possibly. I did hear the chance that it was going to be at 10. I can't say for sure.
It would be
But
nice if we can get Fan Man in there too.
yeah, but if anybody wants to see a nice big image of that, I'm putting in the link for the CBR.com article about Crisis on Infinite Earths, which starts this Sunday.
I have figured out how to share pictures, but I won't do it because I don't want to, run the risk that your station gets hit or anything like that.
Might explode. Something might explode.
Right, exactly.
Something might explode.
They'll take down the stream because we dared to share some copywritten piece of whatever.
I know they get.
Man, he looks really good in that picture.
I
think he looks even better than he did in the movie.
I know he's got that. He's got that salt and pepper gray hair thing happening. He's got Hawkland by the throat.
Yep.
And he just, that's Superman. I'm sorry. In every way that matters, Brandon Routh embodies.
Although
Superman.
I will say this also belies a problem that I have with the way they're doing this Crisis. I always imagined when I read the original Crisis, or whenever I read any of those DC crossovers, Earth 1, Earth 2, and whatnot, that Superman looked like Superman. In other words, if it was live action, it would always be the same actor, just made to look older or younger. Mm-hmm. And here you have clearly two different actors playing the role, and one of those actors being someone who looks identical to another character in your ongoing storyline.
Right, and also they're bringing back. Excuse me.
Yeah, she's all mine, my friend.
That makes me tingle.
Completely. I need her to do that when we're doing the Die Hard rewatch. You kind of ruin all your arguments.
But I tried to. What the heck was I about to say?
Exactly. Oh, yeah. What were you about to say? It was wrong. No, go ahead.
Oh yeah,
but this whole idea that he looks like what's his name from Legends,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering how they're going to explain that. But
I'm sure they'll just do some little joke and move on.
Not only that, but they're bringing in Tom Welling as yet
who also doesn't look anything like either. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be how they're doing it, because we know that they're all different Earths. So
yeah,
exactly how they're going to handle it, I kind of look forward to see. There was a larger trailer that hit today that has a few more scenes. It has Welling. It has which is the other great thing is Kevin Conroy playing an older and definitely beat up Batman, because he's in a power suit and having a hard time walking. So he's also playing the Kingdom Come version of that character, and he recognizes Ruby Rose's character. He says, Kate. So that's happening. And I believe their appearances are supposed to take place on the Batwoman episode, which is this Sunday.
Kind of sense, I guess.
So I know a lot of people out there don't want to watch it, but if you want to get the whole Crisis story, technically you're going to have to eventually watch Batwoman and Supergirl. But you can get around it for one night. I think I'm gonna bust my my own viewing habit and watch those two episodes, simply because I want to see how Crisis plays out.
I do want to say one perspective that I haven't heard anyone else sharing about this Crisis thing is what bothers me about it is what a missed opportunity this really has been. They could have used Crisis in a much bigger way. Instead of it just spanning all of their TV things, they could have really taken this opportunity to retcon everything they've done, their TV shows, their movies, and everything, and create the shared DC universe that they clearly have wanted to do and failed to do all along. And unfortunately, they don't have the Feige or the, I would say Perez and Wolfman that would have been necessary to pull this kind of thing together.
Yeah, they would have needed someone of huge intellect and vision to carry this off,
which I think is sorely lacking in Hollywood.
Which
today.
is so, yeah, and yeah, that's true. You just don't have those super creative juggernauts.
I kind of feel
like some of the old days, and the old guard, like the Lucases and the Spielbergs, the Coppolas.
Exactly.
They're getting old now. There are some that are up there. They're close, but they still haven't really been able to.
I do feel
like bust through it.
That in Hollywood, the great writers and directors are just like the great politicians. If they're really good, then they're just too smart to actually want to step into the ring, and they stay away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it'd be good to have seen a Crisis event done on the scale of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yep, I agree. This was a huge missed opportunity because you don't get to roll out Crisis on Infinite Earths again.
No, and I mean, and I know we are getting a very watered down version. But you know what? When you're thirsty for a little bit of wine or hard liquor, even if it's a little watered down, sometimes it needs to hit the spot because it's all you got.
The smart way to have done it would have been when they decided that Supergirl has run her course and use it as a kill her off opportunity and then reboot her later on in a big movie or something.
Yeah, that would have been.
But they're going to even water down that big moment.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I wonder if they will, because one of the iconic images from Crisis was Superman holding. Holding.
That's going to be a bait and switch. That scene's going to be there to be the cover, to be the promotional shot, and then it's going to turn out she's just fine, or it was a different universe version, or some alternate.
An alternate version. But yeah. Anyway, I'll be watching it. I know you won't because you're not invested in it.
What I might do is
six actually of the 6 CW shows, superhero shows, because they're also bringing in Black Lightning.
Yeah,
his show's not involved, but he is involved. So they are pulling in a lot.
I had heard rumors about them wanting to bring in what's his name from Lucifer, and even the guy that played what's his name? The blonde guy who's supposed to look like David Bowie.
Constantine?
Constantine, yeah.
Well, Constantine's a member of Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, they did bring him into Legends of Tomorrow. But I heard that there was going to be
he was there the whole last season.
I heard that they were going to get what's his name from Lucifer to do a cameo.
I had heard that, but I don't know how that would have fit in. Was Lucifer a part of Crisis? I don't remember.
He wasn't per se, but he definitely was a DC character, a DC property. I mean, in every episode of Lucifer has the based on characters from DC Comics.
Yeah. Agent Boomer said for years they were touting J.J. Abrams as the next Spielberg.
Yeah, I find that very difficult to buy because the more that I've seen from J.J. Abrams, even the stuff that he did that was successful, he had a way of ruining it in the end.
And I will also put to you that the internet, we really don't have the big name like that since internet hit, really.
Well,
I somehow think that sometimes you get that group that just somehow just makes people just want to like not do anything.
I think you're finding a correlation where there isn't one. I think that you have two things
Possibly,
happening
yeah.
at the same time that are completely unrelated.
Okay.
Yes, the internet came into existence, but I think the real causality is if you look at the Spielbergs, you look at the George Lucas, you look at, anybody who, even Cameron, okay, when they created something that was really successful, they
Mhm.
made it from nothing. They did something new. And
True.
all
Yeah.
of these other hacks out there are taking those things and trying to remake them in their own image. And people are going,
Right.
no, no, no,
Abrams.
no. I love that. Don't remake it. Don't change it. Don't mess on sacred ground.
Yeah. I mean, Abrams had his most success when he was creating stuff from scratch
Yeah,
on,
exactly.
on television. When he started to get a little bit tainted, it was because of Star Trek and Star Wars,
Yep.
which were two franchises that were already had been created and had fans that had certain expectations that if you didn't meet, they were going to let you know about it.
Although I do have to hold up what Wolf 10 Media just said. I lost respect for Mr. Mystery Box long ago, and he's absolutely right. It was even before he started getting into Star Trek and Star Wars. If you look at how Lost was going, and it was going so well,
Oh
you
yeah,
saw the seeds of what he started doing later on when people started to figure out, and this is where your theory about the internet comes in, maybe a little bit, Al. Okay, people demonize the internet, but the internet is a missed opportunity. During Lost and its heyday, the internet was chit-chatting, and they were figuring out all of the mystery box elements.
yeah.
And if you
All the
listen to
codes, the
what George
numbers.
Martin says about that. George Martin said, you know what? The internet figured out the whole Jon Snow thing, and he wrestled with, should I change it or not? And he said, no. They figured it out. Good on them.
Good
I'm
on
going to
them. Yeah.
continue on with the story. And J.J. Abrams took the opposite route. He said, oh, you figured out that everyone died in the plane crash and they're all in purgatory. No, no, no. That's not what it is. That's not what it is. And then sure enough, last episode, that's freaking exactly what it is. And true to form, he did the same thing with Star Trek. Oh, no, no, no. This John Harriman, that's not Khan. That's not Khan. Guess what? It absolutely is
It
Khan.
was common.
And
Yeah.
now every time he says something, people go, bullshit. We know that you're lying to us. You tell us
I
that
will
this,
say
that, and the
now.
other isn't happening in Star Wars. We know it is.
Now I got to get back to Lost here for a second. The final
Sure.
episode. I have a different view on that. Were they at the end? Were they in purgatory? Definitely in purgatory. I don't think they died in the plane crash though. I think they were living their lives and just ended up in purgatory finally together. But they all kind of had
Though,
their own
Al.
path.
Really?
Yeah, but they took
Actually,
their own paths. But I don't think they died in the plane crash.
okay,
I'm
maybe
just saying
not. I'll
that.
be honest with you. I think if they all died in the plane crash, it would have made a better explanation. If
Might
your
have, but I just
plan
don't think
is,
that happened.
yeah, if what you say is true, and I think you're basically saying what I think J.J. Abrams is trying to claim now, then you should have stuck to your guns.
Yeah,
It would have been better.
I think I think a creative force needs to stick to their
Yeah.
original idea. And oh my God, Chris Carter. I know he had no intention of doing to the X-Files what that turned into.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's a great example of doing a great job and then bowing to the networks. And we'll
yeah,
talk more about that when I start doing my rewatches of David Lynch productions.
yeah, but yeah, X-Files, great show. Just suddenly, it just became too big for its own britches, and, there was no way to untie all the knots and all
Yep.
its strings that had been
Yep.
tied up together. So yeah, so sadly, yeah, that was the thing. So yeah, that's a secret. Like I said, it's coming. Whatever happens.
We'll
But I'll be
probably get more into
Yeah,
into
I'll be
that
watching it.
as we start getting into we can do more JJ bashing when we get to Star Trek 4. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am interested in
Well,
unless you want to stay on Routh.
well, no, I was pretty much done. I just, like I said, love that image, and I just can't wait to see him in full regalia on screen again.
I do want to hear more about this because this one I don't know anything about. When I saw you drop this thing about Last Starfighter sequel, I was like,
Oh, yes.
so Al,
Uh,
fill me
not
in, man.
official.
Don't leave
Not
me
official.
hanging too much.
They have been talking doing a sequel for this thing for years. Someone did an article that has now got people who want to see this thing again excited, including me. Now, Last Starfighter, for the for the uneducated, first of all, I've decided we've got to watch this thing on a Saturday night sometime next year.
The
Uh,
original Last
the
Starfighter, I'm all for that. Yeah.
original Last Starfighter, the first film whose entire special effects were done on computer.
Yeah.
And boy, did they not! The effects have not really aged great. They look like an early thing. They look decent
Yeah.
still, but they definitely have showed. They're definitely
The
showing
only
it.
reason that Tron has aged well is because you can kind of say, well, that was, in the computer. That was meant to
Yeah,
be that way.
yeah. I remember seeing. Yeah, I remember seeing Tron again, and it really aged really. Yeah, I thought it aged fairly decently.
But again,
But
it's a product of what it was. I mean,
product of its time.
yeah.
But Last Starfighter had so much potential
Yeah.
for additional storylines because the villain escaped at the end.
Yeah.
They needed to rebuild the Starfighter Corps, and the younger brother was playing the game. He could be a Starfighter. They just had all. It had sequel written all over it. It is one of the films that I was totally shocked never got a sequel, a proper sequel, and it popped up in the news the other day that someone's interested in doing a Last Starfighter sequel again, and an updated version. Uh, but that really was all there was. Uh, no story ideas, no plot points, nothing. But I really, really think this is a movie that deserves it, and I think and it's still a viable product. But the longer they wait, we're all going to be dead. The people who
Well,
originally remember it are going to be dead before they actually get around to
and
making
isn't
them.
that the double-edged sword there? I mean,
Yeah,
there's things that were done well, and you don't have to remake them. You just do a sequel. And I think,
right.
as we're seeing the Ghostbusters 3 coming up, a lot of us are saying that same kind of thing. It doesn't hurt to do a sequel many, many, many years later,
Yeah,
but there is that sweet spot where you got to get it done.
Yeah, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel. I mean, you don't need to do anything but write a good space opera-esque kind of a story. And I think they should do something that revolves around an older Alex Rogan. Uh, yeah, I was looking it up, so I had Alex Rogan on the mind, the name.
So
and
wait a minute.
bring back the actor, to play an older, more
Aged
seasoned
Boomer is
Starfighter.
talking about a Last Starfighter musical. Is that real?
I have never heard of that. Um, I would not be shocked because they've made a musical out of almost everything. There's
How
there's a
how do they have and I have to ask if they did a musical. I have to when did this happen? I mean, because I can't imagine a musical of the Last Starfighter without Robert Preston. I'm just saying.
yeah. Oh yeah, oh my God, that would have given it a Broadway swag, wouldn't it?
Right, right.
Oh my God, there was a Last Starfighter musical.
Huh.
presented in store. Oh, okay. God bless Wikipedia.
Right.
I had never heard of this thing.
Well, I'll tell you, we got some great listeners here because they know their stuff. Aged
Yeah,
Boomer, good on you, mate.
yeah, but yeah, what a start.
And Matchstick sounds crazy enough to be true.
Presented at the Storm Theater in New York City in October 2004.
2004, huh?
It was a staged reading and involved moderate revisions of music, lyrics, and a book was presented 2006 New York Musical Theater Festival. Huh. Yeah, I
Wow.
mean it happened. I don't think it was like this big deal, but it exists.
Well, so that means that,
Oh my
they
God! There's an original cast recording out there on the Kritzerland label.
unfortunately that if it was done in 2004, that means that precludes Robert Preston because he died in 87. So,
Yeah. Unfortunately, you couldn't have him or Dan or Hurley, sadly, because I don't think he's with us anymore either.
oh, yeah, good point. Wow.
But you could bring back Alex Rogan and Catherine Mary Stewart, who was
Oh, yeah.
a fetching lady. I'm not sure what she looks like now, but definitely a great um, movie.
So I have to wonder because we have a lot of actresses that we thought were really hot back in the day, and for me, most of them still look great. But
Yeah.
maybe that's just because I've gotten older too, and so by comparison, I'm thinking,
Well,
okay,
that's true. I mean, being 54. Someone goes, "Oh man, she's in her 50s." I'm like, so? I mean, that's my wheelhouse. That's what you would.
right?
I 50-year-old women are quite attractive, and nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I mean, it's all genetics, and when you're dealing with Hollywood, it's also a little bit Botox and
Well,
surgery. So it really
I,
depends.
I don't know. There's a sweet spot there where you can do a little bit, but when you do too much, then you go into lion face territory. You know, just my opinion, but
Oh yeah. Or like Catherine Hellman in Brazil. So
yeah.
many people get that reference. Yes, that's right. They generally we're boomers. Actually, no, we're Gen
No,
X.
we're not. Our parents are boomers.
Yeah, I'm a Gen Xer. Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
So deal with it.
But they say basically the millennials are all saying anybody who's older than them is boomer, and
No,
technically speaking, that's not true.
no, not at all. But yeah, everybody's talking about different musicals. I mean, yeah, they're always taking.
Casey Scott
There's
says Lucy Lawless is still hot for her age. You don't even have to say for her age. She
yeah,
is still
she's
hot.
smoking hot. She is smoking hot.
I mean, hell,
Um,
so is Linda Carter. Oh my gosh. Oh
yep,
my gosh.
yep. Um, there's well, Sophia Loren, still beautiful.
Yes.
Raquel Welch.
Yup.
Yep.
Yup. And you know what? I got to say, too, Olivia Newton John, still beautiful.
Still a beautiful woman. Yep.
But I'm guessing she's stage 4. She's not going to be with us much longer either.
She is oh God.
Yep.
I knew she'd been battling it. I just didn't know what the current state was.
But again, we're talking about women who just if they've done a lot of nip tucking, I don't see it.
True. Yeah. Sometimes, well, you can sometimes tell things look a little stretchy, a little pulled, here and there.
Casey Scott, I can't argue about Linda Carter. No, most men cannot. She's wow.
Linda Carter is a masterpiece of the genetic code.
It must be, and just clean living because wow.
Yeah, she is. If any woman needed to be cloned,
Right.
Linda Carter.
Yeah.
Clone Linda Carter circa 1977.
And if Nanette's listening to this on the re-listen or whatever, she would agree with me too. I know she would.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, but I just real quick back to musicals. There's a King Kong musical.
Okay.
Creature
What?
from
How does that even work? I don't.
they had a big giant King Kong puppet on stage. Look it up.
Oh my gosh!
It's a
I'm afraid to. I'm just
it
afraid to.
it's actually cool. It's a big like an animatronic ape, and it looked really cool. And
Are
there's
we talking
also
animatronic ape like the King Kong 79 thing or 76 or whatever it was?
no. This looks more along the real version. I mean, you could tell it's a puppet or it's a big giant whatever it is. Do you call something that big a puppet? I guess you
Oh
would.
my gosh, D.R. Yeisley saying there was a War of the Worlds musical. What the heck with all these musicals?
Yeah, War of the World. There was War of the Worlds musical. Like I said, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
But I do got to say, if everybody's all hyped about musicals, and you're like me, and you're not real fired up about Star Wars, and a great alternative, go see Cats. Hashtag Cats Army.
Okay, now I have not seen. I've heard they've redesigned the cats.
Well, the problem with Cats, from what I've seen, is
because that first trailer was freaky.
Yeah, unfortunately, the way they did they decided to go with a lot of CG, and it fell into that whole uncanny valley. And yeah, I do have to admit, what I've seen of it doesn't look good. But let's face it, I happen to still be a big fan of that soundtrack, and the soundtrack still sounds great. So what the hey? Nanette said she wanted to see it, and I'm like, honey, I'm happy to take you opening night because I ain't going to see Star Wars.
God bless you. I don't have any. Well, see, I'm not a really big Cats fan. Now I was. I remember I finally got to see Phantom. The film. I really enjoyed that. I know.
Enjoyed it, but there was some things they decided to do with that I just did not feel great about.
I know some people had some issues, but I will say I saw it at a time when I really needed to see it.
Some of the casting I felt was kind of weak. I mean, kind of like what's his name who played who's that actor who played Javert in Les Miserables?
Yeah,
you know who I mean. The
Gerard But.
No. Was it? No.
Yeah, well, he was a fan.
The Gladiator. The what's his name?
Oh, Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Russell Crowe.
He wasn't in Phantom.
No. I'm talking about Les Miserables. They cast him as Javert in Les Miserables. Bad casting.
I never
I'm
saw.
Sorry, I like the man, but he cannot sing.
Yeah, no, Hugh Jackman. He could sing.
Hugh Jackman totally makes up for it.
Hugh Jackman rocks.
Yes.
Did you ever see Hugh Jackman when he hosted the Oscars?
I did not, but I have heard the soundtrack of The Boy from Oz.
Yeah,
my gosh.
I'm saying when you get a chance later, look up Hugh Jackman Oscar host the first part where he sings a song. He sings a song about all the different movies.
Honestly, I can't think of anything he's ever done that I mean, I'm very much in the Deadpool camp as far as the love for Hugh Jackman.
And he's also there's also a version of him doing We Three Kings on some Australian Christmas special that was really good. He's a great singer.
Yes,
he's an all around. He's one of the all around talents going today, and God bless him. That man is super talented. That's another one who should be cloned.
I agree with you. And he's another one who's aging very, very, very well, in my opinion. In my opinion. And I'm a straight man. Okay, I'm just gonna say that
I hate
straight man, but oh my gosh,
I'm with you.
I have to imagine that if I was inclined in that direction, that's
Yeah, he would definitely be an option. He would be an option if I skewed in that general direction. He would definitely be an option. As it were, he'd be the kind of guy, sit down, have a beer with, chat, watch a game, or something, just like a man thing. It's like a man crush.
Yep.
It's that kind of thing. But
I've also got to say, Mara Jade's talking about Hugh and Samantha, legit stars of Les Mis. I understand that, but I also want to give some points to oops, I'm forgetting her name. Who's the one who played Fantine?
Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. Yes. Yeah. I had no idea she could sing, but oh my gosh, she pulled it off.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I've only seen parts, but I've seen her some of her stuff, and that was good. I've never seen Les Mis top to bottom. I've only seen pieces.
I've seen it way more times than most straight men have. I'm just saying, I love Les Miserables.
Hey, I do not believe any straight man needs to apologize for loving.
I'm not apologizing for it. I'm just saying, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of thing that,
Just like I have absolutely no qualms saying that I love Grease 2. And that's saying something.
I don't really know because I haven't seen it in so long.
I love Grease.
I'm afraid it's one of those things that if I was to go back and see it again, might not have held up as well.
Well,
so that's the only reason I haven't.
Well, there's two words about my love of Grease 2, and those words are
Michelle Pfeiffer. Yup. I mean,
definitely.
I think if there's anything about it, that's going to do it just fine because
Jerry Isley loves musicals, but loathes. Okay, you don't like Oklahoma? Oh my God, I love Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. No.
I'm glad you were the one that did that because I was tempted to. I loved Oklahoma, and
Jay, no one loves Grease too. I don't know. I mean, I remember it being kind of okay.
I love Grease 2 more than the first one. That's right. I said it. Now I like Grease, but I love Grease 2.
I'm sorry. I think that might be going a bit far because Grease is a classic.
Grease is a classic in every way.
And nobody's going to be better than Olivia Newton-John. Just saying. Even Michelle Pfeiffer.
I will say this. In every way, Grease is better than Grease 2. But I like Grease 2 more. That's just the way.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm not following you there, man. I mean, I was with you, but
right.
I'm confused.
Like I said, there is a difference between knowing something is superior in production, acting, and whatever, but there's something to be said for that visceral gut reaction to it. I mean, like Citizen Kane. People say Citizen Kane was the greatest movies ever made. It's boring as hell. I can't stand it.
Okay. I'm probably going to get wrapped in the mouth for this, but I've never seen Citizen Kane. I haven't.
That's all right. That's right. You're not missing anything.
Really?
Rosebud's his sled. That's all you need to know.
Oh, now you've ruined it. Yeah.
I've ruined it for everybody. Oh, God forbid.
Yeah.
But
no, I knew that already. But
yeah, to me, the thing is, it's not my liking something is not about quality. It's about enjoyment. It's, do I enjoy something?
Okay, I'll give you that, Al, because I think there's a lot of things out there that are built up in a big way, and when you get right down to it, you gotta almost ask, is it really all that? And
Yeah.
I'm guessing that maybe this Citizen Kane might be one of those things. Having not
Well,
seen it myself, I
I
don't
could have
know.
used. I could have used like. I tried to think of a popular film. I mean, of like a popular quote unquote one of the greatest films of all time that I just don't like, and that's Citizen Kane. I could say
Wait a minute. I gotta say, Marjane,
what Marge.
brilliant line. Better than Grease. Oh well, it's been a good run, Al. Peace out.
No, but and you heard what I said though. I admit Grease is better. Grease is better from performances to the musical to
And yet,
style,
and
direction.
yet, you kind of flip
I
flop on that by saying you like Grease 2
but I
more. I
like
don't.
Grease 2 more. Okay.
I am very confused.
Okay.
Grease was
Can I use an
better,
example?
but I like Grease 2 better.
Okay, let me use it.
How do you
Let me use an
reconcile that,
example.
man?
Let me use. Okay, here's an example. You have a child, and they are a solid B student. Do you acknowledge that the A plus 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 students are smarter than your child?
That this may be an apples and oranges
See,
thing, but
I'm just and that's right. It's an apple. It is apples and oranges.
because I
Now,
think you can kind of get lost in the whole what does it really mean to
Reese's
be an A
apples.
student? I mean,
Well, I was trying. I was thinking of something on the fly.
okay.
So I am basically saying is that you're not going to love your child. Well, I know it's weak. I know it's weak. I couldn't think of something else, but like your child does a Christmas card for you, and then somebody else gives you a beautiful Hallmark Christmas card, superior in every way. Which card are you going to like more?
Well, okay.
That's
But
it's.
again, you might
I'm just
be
trying to say that's it's when being better is not necessarily mean you're going to like it more.
if that's how you're going to explain it, then okay. I can
Yeah.
kind of get what you're saying, but maybe it's not the best analogy either.
Yeah,
but
it might not be the best analogy, but I was
that's
trying
the
to
way
think
you're
of something.
you're explaining it, then I
Right.
can kind of understand it.
Yeah, for me, Grease Grease 2 is a funner movie.
Did you just say funner?
Funner. Yeah,
Not that I'm
I know.
doing that, but funner.
It is a movie I find more fun.
No. I'm okay with funner. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
I
I'm
thought
just saying.
adding me on vocabulary.
No. Because if Nanette was still here, she'd have been all behind funner too. So
Yeah, but it just gets a better reaction for me. I enjoy both, love both, would watch both in a minute, but I just find, you know, my smile's a little bit bigger during Grease 2. It just is, and it has more to do than just with Michelle Pfeiffer.
I'm looking at what Dr. Isley Creations said, and having mixed feelings about that because I haven't seen Citizen Kane either. You may not have been missing anything with Grease 2, in my opinion, but yeah, I do kind of need to. Well, I'm gonna hold off on saying that because I happen to be one of those people that understands that some things are a zeitgeist. You kind of had to be there, and it's really hard to say, well, you gotta see Grease. Maybe not, because if you didn't see it then, seeing it now might not do anything for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I could, yeah, I could see because
Part of
I could get,
Grease may have been seeing it then, and
yeah,
the associated memories that go with it, and
it
so
was
forth.
it was a cultural event.
But
but Grease,
There's also Olivia Newton-John. So,
and there's definitely no her that great. I got the CD. I love the CD. It's great music, but I just like I said, there's a little bit of that. I don't know.
I kind of went away there for a little bit
It's
because I was
comfort
still
food.
thinking about
Yeah,
Olivia Newton-John. But
Grease 2 is like comfort food. Owen Lister's bringing up Aquaman again. Owen Lister, I wanted to let you know I just got a copy of Aquaman, and I will eventually get around to watching it. And you never know, might pop up on my channel. I know the professor would never touch it, but I don't shy away from
hey, Mohammed, glad you're here. I'm
Hey,
always glad you're here, Mohammed.
Mohammed in the house. RJ Grease is okay. Mara, darling, sweetheart. Grease is a fabulous film.
I'm laughing because
I just like Grease 2 better.
I'm looking at her comment and saying Grease is it's kind of like that meme, you know, this is great, not you, this is great. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. I mean, I know is a very I'm in a very niche crowd. But it's just just the way it is. I just find it more enjoyable, funnier. The whole reproduction song it just is kooky fun. I'm more about kooky fun than quality.
I do want to specifically apologize to Exact Change Only, but the reason was I guess I missed the comments, and I'm sorry. I honestly am glad you're here too, Exact Change Only. I caught, you know what? Exact Change Only. Did you specifically do like Muhammad? Did you like orange my, give me an at, because maybe that's why I saw it and didn't see yours earlier? Maybe. I'm now actually going to have to go back and see, did Exact Change Only, give me an at. Yeah, I guess you did, and I missed it somehow. Sorry about that, man.
Wolf Ted Media saying even Aquaman has better world building than Black Panther. I don't know. Like I said, I'll have to see it. Matchstick. I found the best way to make a Superman trailer. Frame it as a romance with two reporters marrying most of the way, and at the end have an explosion, then a shirt tear at S Shield reveal.
I'm sorry, that just happened to strike me as funny. What Matchstick said, you not who you calling a you another mash reference. So
okay.
for the boomers out there.
Wolfton Media thinks Mara's tapping her foot at me. She may well. Sweetheart raises his eyebrow. Oh, I am in the crap house tonight, buddies.
None of y'all can see it, but I'm kind of sitting here nodding my head and
exact change
my tongue.
Exact change early. This is not Troy's channel; it's mine. So
right?
She unsub from him.
That's fair. That's totally fair. But thank you. That's very kind of you, Exact Change Only. You don't necessarily have to let me off the hook, but thank you.
Listener, the fact that you're willing to give Aquaman a chance has earned more respect from me. Yeah, I'm willing to give it a shot. I mean, I'm
willing to. I just haven't seen it.
I'm willing to give Shazam a shot. I am not a particular fan of either concept. One, just the guy playing Shazam. I don't know. It's just he's Chuck to me. He's a skinny geek guy. And Jason Momoa was a guy who was just more concerned about his beer than meeting with fans.
Yeah,
that was a personal thing. Just could have been a bad day. But I'm saying that one bad day, You know, like I said, a Yelp review could mean everything if you're not paying attention. But I know
And
that's a
plus,
weird analogy.
I do kind of, greatly respect Fan Man, and maybe that flavors it for me, but I'm still kind of the Aqua Bro, kind of
Oh,
mentality.
he's definitely Aqua Bro. I mean,
You
yeah,
know,
but I am saying sometimes you could have just as much fun watching a bad film and kind of laughing at it
but at the same
and,
time,
and
really, no
busting
one
on
else
it.
has really gotten, you know, Aquaman. So, it's kind of hard to mess up when no one's ever really done it, except
Except for Justin Hartley.
I was just about to say that. That was where my thought was going to,
Yeah.
but it never really got released. I mean, it did, but it
Yeah.
didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, same thing with Adrian Padalecki's Adrian Palicki, what the
Oh,
Wonder Woman.
dude, I saw it and it wasn't that great. That
Well,
doesn't
I'm
quite
just
hold up as well as Justin
but
Hartley's.
I'm saying that she looked the part, but sometimes you got to have the meat around it. You know,
Oh, agreed. It's just as far as the execution, I think Justin Hartley's uh un unreleased but kind of sort of released pilot was well done and kind of what I felt was a missed opportunity.
I
Whereas,
I love seeing like pilots that didn't hit
yeah,
or like original concept. Did you ever see? I don't know if were you a fan of Big Bang Theory at all?
kind of. I mean, we
Kind of.
have many of the seasons on
Yeah.
DVD, so
Did you ever see the original pilot that did not star um Penny? It had a completely
I
different
did
neighbor girl.
not. I should probably look for that.
It's out there. Sheldon had already had sex. It had been established. And the girl actually was now crushing on Leonard that had slept with him, and the girl next door was a mean biatch. I mean, just totally mean and
Probably one of those
just
things
would have
that it's
never worked.
probably better that they didn't
It,
go with it.
it is so much better they didn't go with that because it just would have never worked. Not with that neighbor girl. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
nothing against the actress. I'm sure she played it exactly how they wanted her to, but
I got to
just wasn't
say,
going to work that
what's
way.
her name? The one that did play Penny. Come on, you know this probably better than
The
I do.
what they did play Penny?
Yeah.
Um.
Oh, you're drawing a blank too. Huh?
Oh my God. Oh, Kelly Cuoco.
Kelly Cuoco. Right. Right. I had a rough time to start out with because when I first saw her, I was still seeing her as the girl from Charmed.
Oh
That
yeah.
last season.
Yeah, I didn't see her charm run that much. I think I saw a little bit of it, but I didn't see the whole thing. I remember from Eight Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter when she was on that, and I always think it's funny that they were able to they got Peggy Bundy, the one who played her mom in that show, to play her mom on Big Bang Theory as well. I thought that was kind of a nice.
Oh, I did not make that connection.
Yep, yep,
Right, you are, my friend.
yep.
Wow.
Yep. So they got her mom. She's played her mom twice, and I just thought
Good on you, man. I totally missed that. But
Casey Scott never could get into the Big Bang Theory. That's my comfort food. That's my comfort food. That is my big bowl of mashed potatoes and
I will say that as far as the
mac and cheese.
geekness, it was kind of weak in a lot of ways, but it did certainly become the whole average viewers concept of nerdiness, I think.
Yeah, I think they needed to do that because you always need to
Mainline it or
yeah
mainstream it or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you went too subtle, it wouldn't have worked.
True.
They needed to be straight up geek, just
And
100%.
there was a lot of, especially early on, those jokes that flew over a lot of people's heads,
Yeah,
like the mathematics on the background, whiteboard and whatnot.
yeah. Let's see. Wolf Ted Media saying both are swell guys. Shazam got a big hug from a fan, and Momoa did a haka for the premiere. Say what you want about the films, the guys are all right in my book. That oh no, I don't have anything negative to say about. Um, well, I'll get like I said, Momoa. When I met Momoa at a signing once, it could have been the bad moment. He just for about me and a couple people ahead of me and a couple people behind me, he was more concerned about where his beer was than giving us a moment of his time. So
On the one hand, I
that's
got to say,
my
I kind of understand beer, but at the same time,
that's
you never put that in front of people.
exactly, and that's my experience, one-on-one experience with him.
Yeah.
I've seen him being gracious and kind and nice, and I wish he had been that way with me.
Yeah.
And Zachary Levi, he looks like a great guy. I could probably pal around with him. I just, like I said, I have a hard time seeing him as a built-up power superhero kind of guy. Green Lantern maybe, something like that, or Flash, but not like, you know, not the real Captain Marvel. Anyway, Shazam.
Yeah.
Um,
Although I'm
Matt
kind of
Shelter
having
reminding us about Alan Richmond also played Aquaman on Smallville.
on small. Oh,
Smallville,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
they
yes.
brought him in.
And in a way, because they'd already brought in Justin Hartley as Green Arrow, yeah, they kind of had to recast that. So,
Yeah,
you know, he did a fine job too, I think. And I did like in my mind, I always felt like that kind of still was the same Aquaman, but just recast because
yeah,
like I said, Justin Hartley was playing something else.
had kind of a similar feel to it. So just different face, but look just like, I mean, that's Aquaman, that
And
blonde surfer dude look,
I am gonna say,
but not the Samoa surfer
yeah,
look.
I do have to. I think we do have to acknowledge, because I've seen some other people mentioning it too. Mohammed's bringing it up now. Maybe we should kind of mention the Black Widow trailer. Did you see it?
Oh yeah, I did, and I meant to, but then DC Fontana died,
Yeah,
and so
good
I
point.
kind of switched it out.
I actually
Um,
haven't seen the trailer yet.
I did see the Black Widow trailer. It doesn't tell you a lot. Um, uh, I like David Harbour. Well, I'll say I like him on screen. I'm not uh, personally. He's a liberal kind of goofball who went crazy at an award show once, which kind of put me off a little bit. But I liked seeing him perform, and he showed him putting on the Red Guardian outfit. And it's like, and the Florence Pugh's character says, "You got fat." It's just kind of funny, but I it looks action packed. It was a good teaser in the fact that it didn't really tell you what the film was about, but gives you just enough of a flavor of what it's going to be. If that makes a sense of anything. If I could get a link to it, I'll put a link here for it. But I like Florence Pugh. She was in what was that film? Summer.
Beats me. Al, did we lose you, or is my sound off? Because I see you talking, but I'm not hearing you. Help me out, stream. Is it me or is it Al? Because I'm a little lost here. Hello? Hello, hello? Casey Scott saying we lost Al. Did you lose me too? Muhammad too saying it's Al.
Hello?
There you are.
Yeah, yeah, it's something I think my Wi-Fi dipped out for a second. Sorry
And
about
what's
that.
weird is because I'm watching the stream,
Yeah.
so I there's that lag that we have from the stream yard. So I see the talkie talks around the halo around our icons, but that could be a lag too, you know.
Yeah, I heard you saying I heard you saying, "Where are you? Where are you?" And I was like, "I'm here. I'm here."
Yeah.
You know?
And see when that happens, I'm sitting here going, but then again, I don't know if he can hear me, and I don't know if the stream's hearing me because there is that little bit of a lag.
Well, usually the stream I think is pretty good to hear you. I just think it was
But keep in mind, there's like
my
that
Wi-Fi.
30-second lag where the stream could hears me saying, you know, hey guys, can you hear me? But then there's like 30 seconds before I see their response, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Uh,
everybody realizes that, but when we're doing stream yards, there's a lag between us and what we're saying in StreamYard and the chat, the
yeah.
what you guys are typing.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, well, that was it because I was looking for a link to the trailer if people want to watch it, the
Yep.
Black Widow trailer.
Thanks.
I mean, Scarlet looking good, but like I said, you just I'm watching it, and you just get that feeling from. It's almost like it's like that feeling you get trying to do something after the big Thanksgiving dinner. It's like hard to get excited for. It's like it's like you're done. I've
Yeah,
eaten enough. You know, the MCU is like it turned into a big turkey, and now I'm in a tryptophan
a
coma.
little too late, in my
Yeah,
opinion. We needed Black Widow long time ago,
they should
and
have done it. They should have done it
definitely
much earlier.
before Captain Marvel. Just saying, got to get that out there.
Instead of Captain Marvel would have been better.
Well, amen to that.
Yeah, they should have done it because now you're going to watch it going, well, we know she's dead. She's dead. Why am I watching the film about a dead woman? You know, it's just I don't know. It's just a bad taste, and I know it's going to be to introduce Florence Pugh as the new Black Widow or whatever for the future movies because that's what I hear they're supposed to
So
be doing.
maybe not that I want to derail us, but we do kind of seem to be going into this area a little bit. Um, Talking about how Marvel is doing, and it's very easy to dive into the whole wokeness and all this, although a lot of that is outside of the movies. Within the narratives, they've been
Mhm.
real light about it. From what I've heard about Captain Marvel, the movie itself was kind of not as bad as you
It
know.
wasn't terrible. It just the film just
Yeah,
it just didn't like I said, it didn't resonate. It was unoriginal. The effects were not up to snuff. Brie Larson just you can't get the memory of her talking down to you for in interviews out of your head when you see her. It's just that kind of stuff really ground that movie down for me. So that movie really had, I mean, and like some story choices with the freaking cat scratching his eye out. It just
yeah.
almost nothing in that film worked at all.
Muhammad, when you say don't get grumpy, it looks good and it isn't insulting fans, are you talking about Black Widow?
Yeah, no, I didn't see anything
and
insulting about it
and
at
and
all.
and aged boomer, absolutely right. It is like Solo. it may be a very good movie, but you killed him off. You killed the character off, and now you're going back and doing a prequel about him. Well, we already know where this character is going. We've kind of moved on.
We
Too
can only
late,
hope. We can only hope that Black Widow is as good as Solo was. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, but it may, but for the same reason, it may bomb like Solo did because of what Owen was, or excuse me, what Aged Boomer is saying.
It might. I like I said, I still think there's going to be a lot of hangover, MCU hangover. Because I don't think Spider-Man Far From Home really did all that well. I mean, it did well, but I don't think it did as well as it.
A lot of people might be saying exactly what Wolf 10 Media is saying. It's the only Phase 5 movie they're even interested in.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Although I'm kind of interested to see where they go with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because that's two movies that I've been pretty happy with. For the most part. So I mean, I have to wait till to see, if they keep
Muhammad was saying Black Widow. Yeah. Okay.
If Guardians of the Galaxy keeps the same formula, I'll be pretty happy.
And Exact Change Only is speculating that the politically correct fad is fading fast. I don't know. I mean, the vast majority of people do seem to be resistant to the overly woke SJW push, but it doesn't seem to matter what's popular. It really does seem like Hollywood cares more about their agendas than they do about the profit, which is bizarre to me. It makes no sense. And it doesn't seem sustainable.
They're gonna eat themselves, just like you said. It's not going to be sustainable because they're going to put themselves out of power because there's no money for them anymore.
Well, look at what and this could be the perfect lead into the last topic that you had up. Mm-hmm. If we look at the history of the Star Trek movies, and who was that director that they had planned a while back for Star Trek 4, that S.J. Clarkson, who was supposed to direct a previous incarnation of Star Trek 4, and she walked away and went on to do that pilot for HBO. And HBO decided, the Game of Thrones prequel, that HBO chose not to pick up specifically because they said it was too woke.
Yeah, I mean,
for HBO to say that it was too woke, that's saying something.
I think that there are so many people are starting to come around. They're looking at all the product out there, realizing they're like, we are producing crap right now, and it's because we are more concerned about trying to do some stupid ass message than we are about a good product.
HBO looking at the wokeness and dropping the pilot for Game of Thrones, and also after the backlash of the last season of Game of Thrones, and then I mean, Disney is getting really concerned about Star Wars. I mean, all of these big companies are going, look, like you just said, it's not sustainable. We can't keep doing this, and I think intelligent people that actually care about, a left-leaning agenda are going to come out and say, well, now wait a minute, look, this can be successful and we can still, get our messages across, because successful movies have always done that. Star Trek did it. We had a diverse cast in Star Wars, the original trilogy. It's doable. You still have to tell a good story though to carry that along.
Exactly. Plus, you have to be subtle. You cannot slam people over the head with the message. That's the problem. Let's look at Mandalorian. Just for a quick minute. The last episode from last week came out, and everybody's like, "Okay, this is the episode with
Oh yeah, okay. So I
Gina
heard about this.
Carano,
I know what you're
with
going
Gina
for.
Carano. This is the woman. She's going to come in and be whatever." But you know what? A small little scene of them talking, revealing her history, made perfect sense why she is a good fighter.
Yeah, and now she's not a Mary Sue. She
Not a Mary
is
Sue.
a perfectly legitimate character.
She was a
Doesn't
freaking shock
matter
trooper
that she's
for
a
the
female.
rebellion.
Yeah.
She is a badass. Period. Has been, comes in as a badass. No wonder she was able to hold her own against him. And then, the one other thing they had was the widow who could shoot. And someone said, in all the old westerns, the widow was the one who knew how to shoot because the husband's gone. She has to protect the family and feed them.
Exactly. I think I made that point to someone else on when I said that okay, so she's not force sensitive, so she doesn't have that going for her.
Mm-hmm.
She may not be as physically strong. Heaven forbid I should mention that fact about a woman. Mm-hmm. And so the great equalizer, she's a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Out of necessity.
So
no big deal there.
That's how you get your strong female characters in a purely organic way. You don't suddenly shouldn't suddenly go, yes, I can shoot, and then suddenly have her like blast down every bad guy walking through the village.
Exact Change only pointed out that it must have been, he said it was his tweet that I said that on. I couldn't remember, but thank you for mentioning that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a great episode, and of course, Baby Yoda rules all. But yes, we have to get to the at least the one
and so that was my intent, was that, as I was pointing out, historically we have this history about Star Trek 4, and the last talk that they did was well first they were going to do they announced Star Trek 4 back before Beyond came out, and that was really putting the cart in front of the horse, because then Beyond didn't do so well, and the investors completely backed out of it, so that fell apart.
They were also trying to bring in Hemsworth again. I mean, they had the whole Star Trek, and you know what? They might still try to do elements of that. I don't know.
And then they said, well, okay, we don't have the investors, we'll scale it down. And again, the actors are like, well, now the money's not there.
Yeah.
Plus, people started moving on. Hemsworth is like, look, I've got other things that I'm doing. I'm doing my, Thor thing. And Clarkson, the director, pulled out and said, no, I'm going on to HBO. That didn't work out for her, but she went on. Zoe Saldana, she's got not Game of Thrones, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Carl Urban, he's working on The Boys.
So, but Star Trek 4 is not let's just say it's still in very, very, very early talking stages.
Yeah. What I was bringing up about that, though, was it does seem like it's the same kind of announcement as the first one. They're putting this out there not because they're really announcing anything. They're really marketing it to the investors. They're trying to get the money. And I don't think
money, and they're trying to also build up fan interest.
Well, trying to build up fan interest or demonstrate that there is still fan interest. I think that's what it really is. They're not going to build up anything.
And
they're posturing to say, look, come invest in us, make your money back. But honestly, I don't think that's going to work.
Well, like I said, we'll see. But the big news of the week was that Noah Hawley was considering, or that there's been some thought as to who the villain might be or should be, and the name Kruge came up. And for those who know Star Trek
Yeah.
lore, Kruge was the villain of The Search for Spock, played by good old Doc Brown himself, Christopher Lloyd. And if they do bring that character into the fold again, would mean a little more emphasis on some Klingons. Now, who better to talk Klingons
Yeah.
than the Klingon?
So obviously, when it comes to Klingons, that is kind of exciting to me. Kind of in the same way that the Klingons in Discovery, the idea of some of the cultural elements, definitely the language elements, are very exciting to me. However, again, if it's not mainline storyline, it's still not my Trek. They don't care what I think about this Trek. It wasn't made for me.
Right.
This is still that alternate universe.
May not have been made for you, but they still hope you see it.
And here's the other thing. They're marketing by again, this is what they're trying to drum up hype. They're trying to get the investors interested. And they do that by mentioning the rebooting of a character, just like they did with Khan. And
Right.
how did that work out? That second movie did not do well and as far as fans went, panned the heck out of it. Because
I am a big fan. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of Benedict Cumberbatch.
Sure, me too. I love the
but
guy.
he's not Khan.
Absolutely right. 100%. I agree with you on that.
He is in no way, shape, form, or concept Khan. And he just they needed someone. They should have gotten someone with a little bit of Middle Eastern blood to them.
They could have gone one of two ways with it and still made me happy. They either needed to get someone like Antonio Banderas or another Latin guy, or you're right, they should have gone completely to the Middle Eastern,
or India and Pakistan, something like that. Because I think that's what Khan was. He was like Indian.
Well, it was
Persian kind of.
He had that name, but then he had that accent, and he was played by Ricardo Montalban. So you kind of wonder, it's kind of like Ramirez from Spain and Egypt, and played by a Scotsman with a Scottish accent. I mean, it's.
Yeah, it just man, who could have played Khan though? I mean, I wonder who.
See, I said Antonio Banderas, but like you said, if you wanted to go with an Indian actor, I'm sure there's somebody. But you know what? It didn't have to be a name. Again, we always start thinking of who is the named actor who could play this role when the best people are probably completely unknown.
Someone you wouldn't even.
The best Superman was Christopher Reeve.
We didn't have an idea who he was.
Nobody at the time.
On the same, I was going to say the same thing. I was saying the same thing.
Luke Skywalker. Nobody knew who Mark Hamill was when Star Wars came out. Harrison Ford. Nobody knew who he was when he was cast.
Well, he was an American Graffiti. So.
Still, nobody really knew him.
He still wasn't a big name.
Yeah. He was an actor, but was because let's face it, Mark Hamill had been on a bunch of TV shows, but still nobody knew him.
Never seen him on Partridge Family and really thinking that was funny. But just going back to Trek, I like the idea of Kruge was a great character. One, you got to get the right actor. But it's like
Wolf 10 Media has a great suggestion for Khan. Benicio del Toro or Oscar Isaac. Both would have been great. Yeah.
Oh, Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
That's Khan. That's Khan.
But maybe a little.
No,
Yeah,
you know,
if they are going for the older Star Trek
oh,
2 Khan and not the Space Seed Khan.
who's
You know,
who's the not Oscar Isaac? Who's the guy who played Blackbeard in Pirates of the Caribbean?
no idea.
I played No Country for Old Men. The guy with the funny haircut, No Country for Old Men. Please help me out. I need the actor name.
No Country for Old Men. Wasn't that that was Tommy Lee Jones, wasn't it?
Nope. This was the guy who played the bad guy. Someone out there knows it. Someone will type it.
I didn't see the movie. So
I can't think of his name. He is.
This is you know, I kind of look at you as the movie guy who knows all the actors. So
I can Javier Bardem. That's his name.
I don't even know that name.
Thank you, Agent Boomer. Javier Bardem. I think he could do a good Khan. He's married to Penelope Cruz.
Wait a minute, Owen Lister. Nobody knew who Keanu Reeves was until Matrix and John Wick. I'm sorry. Keanu Reeves was Bill and Ted. Yeah, that's where we all knew him from. By the time he got to Matrix, granted, we knew him as. So when he went into the Matrix and went, whoa, we were still thinking Bill.
Johnny Mnemonic. I mean, he was a name.
Oh no! Wait a minute. Nobody knows him from Johnny Mnemonic. Nobody.
Somebody.
You do. That's the only person who does.
No,
Who else even saw Johnny Mnemonic?
I tried to think. I never saw it. I just tried to think of another.
Yeah, Speed. Speed's in Wolf 10 Media said Speed. That's another one. Yeah. But the point being, you don't have to keep going to these big names. Yeah. Big names are fine for villains.
But you also find the trap though. If you're going to do something like bring in like a Kruge, a known character, into the alternate Kelvinverse thing,
people are going to expect someone that
it's lazy. It's lazy.
It is.
I mean, because
it is. What is the point of doing this alternate universe if you're just going to rehash the same story? If you're going to retell Star Trek 2 and Star Trek 3, and it's do something new. But then they do something new, and it bombs too because it's still in that universe that nobody cares about.
You know what I'd like to see them mine a little bit? The animated series, some of the stories from the animated series,
or if they want to take some of the better episodes of the original series and turn them into movie level stories, they could.
Mm-hmm.
Not Spock's brain.
Yeah,
okay? But if they want
because those adventures are viable adventures.
And what if
Day of the Dove,
their whole universe is predicated on time travel? For crying out, well, no, they would ruin City on the Edge of Forever, but that would be the one that would make for a good movie.
Yeah.
It
would. And having something like City on the Edge of Forever, it would really cut down on your effects budget. You just put them on an old time set.
Exact Change only makes a great point. Recycle the old series, play it safe without the baggage of continuity. That should have been what this whole Kelvin universe was. They should have gone back. Blowing up Vulcan was stupid, but going back in time and changing history only slightly, and then retelling the best stories of Star Trek basically on a parallel storyline and just kind of updating it a little bit. That would have been pretty good.
You know what they could have done? They could have just done Star Trek with no alternate timeline thingy at all and just redid it with a slightly new design, but still reminiscent of the old style.
Yeah.
But they got too bright and shiny, and then they had the whole, Nero thing that just, I mean, I could, but I would like to see what episode would be a good episode to turn into a film size plot line. I can think of maybe the Enterprise incident.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stories that were mediocre, but they had such great potential. A lot,
Yeah.
let's be honest, a lot of the Klingon episodes were
Mhm.
good, but not great, but they could be great, especially now knowing what we do about the Klingons and how they've been developed and what,
Yeah,
and their look and everything.
like I said, Dan the Dove. That could easily be done. They come across a derelict. Um, I mean, or slightly redo it. They need to be on the planet, but they come across a derelict Klingon ship.
We got a new listener here. We got Mark Melnikoff here, who's
Oh,
saying that if they put one of those stupid helmets on Kruge, he's done. But Mark's also a friend of mine.
oh, hi, Mark.
He's
How
a
you doing?
Klingon. He's a Klingon as well. He's the other Klingon brass in the Chicagoland area,
Yeah.
and he's a general, if I remember correctly, in CAG. Am I correct, Mark? Is that what your rank is? He's a sector commander. Anyway, Mark, so glad you made it. But you know what? I'm going to defend those Klingon helmets. Even though I was very much against them when the Kelvin universe first started, I started thinking between those helmets and the ones in Star Trek Online and whatnot, not really having a problem with Klingons wearing helmets as long as, they take them off so that you can see their face, but go into combat and put them back on for protection. I can dig that,
They should have them wear helmets with like ridges on them, and when they take them off, they have no ridges, and they're like the ones that had the
That's
thing. But
actually the Kelvin universe helmets. That's exactly what they are,
yeah,
you know?
oh, they are. Let's see. I don't really remember
Yeah.
that much about the
And
Klingons in the Kelvin
and
universe that
somebody
much.
pointed out that back in the day, back during like the Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3 era, there was I forget what it was, not the Star Trek experience, but there was some other Paramount, you know, in the theme parks or whatever, where you could be in a Star Trek scene, and if you were going to play a Klingon, they put this helmet on you that was very much
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
that had the, because they didn't want to do all the makeup on you.
I
Um,
had a I had a friend of mine that was a part of that, and he played a Klingon, and he showed it to me once. It was pretty funny. It was like something out west or something.
Yeah, but real quick, I wanted to answer it rather than typing out to Mohammed. No, I do like Keanu, but he's been in so much, he kind of was not working for the analogy of the unnamed actor that nobody knows. You know, he after a certain point, he is now the big name actor that doesn't fit
Yeah.
what we were kind of talking about.
I mean, we're talking about like what Hugh Jackman was in the first X-Men movie.
Yeah,
Nobody knew who Hugh Jackman
exactly.
was.
Exactly. And now, yes, he's good for certain roles, completely different roles, but there's sometimes you just have to cast the no name actors. Mark points out he said he used the quote I was thinking of. Sometimes I forget that not everyone is in my head and knows exactly what I'm thinking. So Mark had to enunciate the phrase: "A Klingon who kills without showing his face has no honor." That was my initial resistance to the Klingon helmets. But
Yeah.
as long as they show their face and then put on the helmet, absolutely, because it kind of makes sense that a warrior race would go into combat wearing armor, including a helmet. Kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but I do like my Klingons more TOS-y.
Owen Lister, I have
Free
no
Ridge.
idea what you are talking about. How about a Power Rangers style Star Trek movie? I don't even know what that looks like. That, although I will say, I have been incredibly intrigued by what I've heard Quentin Tarantino say that he wants to do with Star Trek.
Go Federation. Sorry, I was trying to think of what that would
It
be
does
like.
kind of make sense when you do it that way. Huh? Okay, I could almost get behind that, but no
Go
news that
Federation. That mighty Starfleet and the Federation. God help me.
no, keep going.
No,
I'm
oh
thinking
no,
we
I'm
need
done. That
another
was the last one.
soundbite from you, my friend.
That was the last. That was the last part of the reel.
Have you heard what Tarantino was saying about his take on Star Trek?
I knew he wanted to go R, but
Well,
I haven't
yeah,
heard
but
much about.
specifically, he said that, yeah, I would be doing Star Trek and it would be the Chris Pine era and stuff. But then he said, then I heard that,
Maybe
it completely changed history and all of that was non-continuity. And he's like, and I just don't buy that. I just don't get it. I don't accept it. And the person interviewing him said, well, let's put the cards on the table. You want the guardian on the edge of guardian of forever to be in continuity. He goes, I want it all to be in continuity. I want all of that to have happened. Maybe it hasn't happened yet, but it, and I went to JJ and I'm like, what is this all about? I don't like this. And he says, well, that's okay. Nobody likes it. Nobody gets it. I don't get it. And I don't know. That could just be hyperbole from him, but I kind of figure that was a hit, a peek behind the curtain that J.J. Abrams really doesn't get it, and he admits that he doesn't get it, and
admits that his fans don't like it.
exactly, and he knows that his fans don't like it, and I'll tell you something. That gets into another little bit of Star Trek news that I'm surprised you didn't bring up, and that's that as of tomorrow, well, today, almost for you guys on that coast, the Paramount CBS merger's back, is complete, and as of a couple weeks back, the deal with Bad Robot for the movies is over because there was no Bad Robot Star Trek movie in production within 3 years. So, although they certainly could still bid to be a part of another Star Trek movie, they are not under obligation. CBS is not under any obligation
I,
to use them.
I could see him scrapping the whole thing and just, like I said, just having, wait 5 years and
Well, Sherry Redstone
redo it.
Sherry Redstone is not a fan of well, I almost said bad reboot because I definitely am a big lover of
Bad robot, reboot.
Bad reboot and Les Moonves. She doesn't like Les Moonves either. So she is very much in favor of pivoting back to classic Star Trek, timeline. So here's hoping, right?
I mean, I mean, Star Trek continues. Got it right. Star Trek phase 2 / continues. I mean, not continues. What's New Voyages? They were originally. They look good. I mean, it looked good. It had a modern look, but it was Star Trek.
Except, Jolie, I do not hate Keanu Reeves. Why? I mean, all I was saying is that he's become a big star, and
he's yanking your chain. That's what he does. This is why the professor's not on anymore. He got tired of it. I'm just kidding.
Okay, if that's it, if you're pulling my chain, that's fine. I totally didn't want anyone to misunderstand me. I just was getting away from Keanu Reeves because that was becoming a poor analogy for what we were talking about at the time. I love Keanu Reeves. And hey, has anyone heard any news about the new Bill and Ted movie? There had been so much about that, and then I haven't heard about it for months.
I've heard they were filming it. I don't know if they're done, if it's wrapped or anything like that.
Okay, and Exact Change only said he was just yanking my chain. Okay, you got me good then, because I totally fell for it. Fair enough, my friend. You good on you. But then Matchstick still hating on Keanu.
See, you know they're
Oh
going to
my
be
God.
doing that for weeks now.
I guess I wouldn't mind it so much if I didn't really care for Keanu, but I really do like him. I mean, he hasn't always been in the best movies. I didn't like all the
Yeah,
movies he's been in, but I pretty much liked him
John
in everything.
John Wick reinvented him
I have to
in,
see
in,
that. I have
in
to
the
see that.
best way.
Although I will say this, I did not care for him in Dracula. I think he was poorly cast in that,
Oh yeah,
and
that
he
was
was
not the
way
best.
too Bill and Ted for
Yeah,
that movie. You know,
he looked stoned throughout the entire thing, and he was also in a Shakespeare movie, um, Much Ado About Nothing with
really.
Kenneth Branagh. He played. I want to say he played. Was he Prince John? Or he
Well, I
was the
love
brother of
Kenneth
Prince John.
Branagh, and I love
Yeah,
Much Ado
but
About Nothing. So,
yeah, Much Ado About Nothing. It was Kenneth Branagh played Benedict, and his wife at the time. What's her name? You know, uh, can't think of her name, but she played the female part. But Keanu Reeves had the part of the evil brother of the prince.
oh,
If you
okay,
know the
yeah, yeah,
story,
yeah, 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 yeah.
that man's just not meant to play Shakespeare. He was so wooden. It's like that old Family Guy thing where they had Keanu Reeves stand there with like a bird, like with a woodpecker tapping on his head.
Oh my gosh. Matchstick says you might want to quit hating on Keanu. John Wick might show up at your doorstep. Um, I don't think I have anything to worry about
Emma,
John Wick because from what I understand, he likes dog people, and I'm totally a dog person.
Marjane, thank you. Emma Thompson was Kenneth Branagh's wife at the time. She played
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Eleanor. No, what? No,
No, that's
I
absolutely right. Owen
can't
Lister.
think. I can't think of the female.
That's the
Female.
problem. That is the one weakness. I have a great deal of respect for any actor who can do different accents and do them well. And Keanu Reeves does not do British. He
Yeah.
just does not.
Well, you said you're a fan of Much Ado About Nothing. Did you see
Mhm.
the version of Joss Whedon did?
I did not know he had done one. No.
Oh yeah. It's awesome. It has like all the people that have worked with Whedon is in it. Fillion is in it. He plays was it Dogberry?
You're kidding me.
Um
This
Al,
sounds epic.
yeah, Amy Acker play it's Amy Acker and uh
Oh,
and the guy who played Wesley. Um Whatever his
oh,
name
I
was.
know who you mean. I can never
Yeah.
remember his name either.
Taylor Benedict and
He was married to the witch on that show.
Allison Hannigan,
Alison
yeah.
Hang. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're still married. Married with several kids.
Well, but it
very,
doesn't change the
very
fact
happy.
that they were married then either. I mean,
Yeah, but
what I said
they,
was
they
still
did it.
true.
The professor's main boy who plays Agent Coulson's in it, and it's the whole crew. It's kind of done with a modern aesthetic.
Wow.
Look it up. It's awesome.
I gotta check it out. Oh, I absolutely will. I
Yeah,
absolutely will.
Joss Whedon, Much Ado About Nothing.
So let me say something. I have you this. I don't know if you guys are going to consider this off topic, but Nathan Fillion has been in
Yeah,
a cop
yeah,
series called The Rookie.
yes,
And Nanette and I have been watching that, really enjoying it. And there was this great line in it the other day. He's an older guy, but he decided to reinvent himself and he becomes a cop. So he's a rookie and he's going out with his more experienced but younger cop that he's teamed up with. She's one of those real hard as nails type who's like really been beaten down by life, and she really wants to not like him, but he's such a likable guy. And at one point, she's like, you don't have to do this. And he's like, no, you're my partner. Where you go, I go. I got your back. She's like, it would be so much easier to hate you if you weren't so darn honorable. And he's like, yeah, I know. And as soon as she said that, I look at Nanette because it totally hits the Klingon nerve in us. It's like, yep, living with a code of honor is sometimes hard to live with, but that's just what the burden you live with when you're a Klingon.
Yeah, Mara Jade coming to my rescue here. Keanu played Don John, and it was Beatrice was the other character.
Gotcha. No, I'm gonna definitely have to.
Beatrice. As like so off topic, Shakespeare movies and Star Trek. Shakespeare and Star Trek go very well together.
Yeah, I was gonna say those things. You kind of have to.
I mean, a lot of the titles come right out of Shakespeare from Star Trek,
and a lot of the storylines are very thinly veiled, retellings of Shakespearean stories.
Of course,
Patrick Stewart was a great Shakespearean actor before he became Jean-Luc Picard.
But like original series, Conscious of the King. I mean, they had a Shakespeare troupe on board.
Tachbe.
Okay. Okay. What?
To be or not to be? That is the question that preoccupies our people, Captain.
I don't speak Klingon. Sorry, I just don't.
But they specifically translated it in such a way so that you'd know what he was saying when he says it, even in Klingon.
Yeah, but Shakespeare goes very, and of course Dana wanted to become a great Shakespearean actor. Yep. I like it when he rattled off several different actors. They do the thing I love that Star Trek always does. They'll rattle off four people, and he'll say, "Well, I want to," or three or four. I want to be like Olivier, Branagh, and Sitar Vulcan.
Yes, exactly. They give you like classic, someone who's contemporary, and then a fictional person from the future. I love that.
I know
that is always brilliant.
Cool. It's always a lot of fun.
That is just brilliant. And those are the kinds of elements that people not only love about Star Trek, but they hold that dear.
Yeah.
And that becomes part of continuity. You don't know who this fictional person is that was mentioned in that one line, but that is now part of canon. That is a great,
Sitar Vulcan is out there somewhere, and he's a hell of an actor, I guess.
And if you wipe all that away, people get really pissed, and rightly so. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to get off on that tangent again, but that's really just where I am in all of this. So my hope is that, as I said, that they're still not going to be able to put together their Star Trek 4, that's going to go away. And if they're going to do another Star Trek movie, they're going to reboot the whole damn thing and put it back in the main canon.
Yeah, your buddy Mark saying you haven't experienced Shakespeare until you have heard it in the original Klingon.
Agreed. Yeah. Absolutely right.
Oh, I knew. I remember meeting a lot of the KLI guys at some of the conventions. They're fun. I've probably got a few like little cards somewhere, like with little translations on them.
Oh, absolutely. In fact,
I need to get Klingon dictionary, I guess, and learn some Klingon.
Well, there's the Klingon dictionary, there's Power Klingon, there's a lot of books out there, not just and I'm telling you, there is a whole lexicon now. It's gone way beyond that dictionary.
It's a full language. Mark Okran has created another true language that is becoming. It's like one of the most taught languages,
and he is a heck of a nice guy in person.
I've met him a few times. He's
so cool nice. But I'll tell you, I have no idea what I was going to tell you. I completely lost my train of thought.
Exec Change only starting something here. Mandalorians are greater than Klingons. Be a good fight.
Well, I don't know. If you're talking about Boba Fett, then we might be able to have that conversation. But now I
Although now
guess
they're
they're
saying
saying that Boba Fett wasn't a real Mandalorian,
just wear the armor.
and now these Mandalorian. That's the other problem I have with this whole Mandalorian series. It should have been a Boba Fett series,
Yeah.
but heaven forbid we use any legacy characters.
But
So
the one thing I like though is they're creating a richer idea about the Mandalorians. I think they're setting something up. Although they're already breaking with it a bit from the one who was in Rebels, I think,
yeah,
because she took her helmet off all the time. They're saying they don't take their helmets off in front of people, because if they do, then they'll never be able to put it back on again. It's some code or something. I don't know, but pretty interesting, pretty cool.
I just am hoping that we get to the end of this season, or they get somewhere into the next season, and we find out that he really is Boba Fett. That's all I want. Boba Fett just changed his identity.
Well, they've already kind of done. He's had flashbacks of his childhood, and he's not Boba Fett because his parents were killed, and he was raised by Mandalorians.
All right.
So he's not Boba Fett. Sorry. See, if you watch the series, you would know this.
No, my headcanon was so much better, and you just ruined it for me now. So thanks a lot for that.
I'm sorry.
And see, that's what it comes down to for me. I've just decided that, Star Wars was the prequels, the original trilogy, some of the better books from the expanded universe, and that's it. That's all there is. There is no Disney Star Wars. That's a whole different universe. That whole Disney thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. That's just how it is for me.
Oh, I will say I did see one of the first Baby Yoda dolls. It looks so cute.
Right, exactly. Wolf 10 Media hit it right on the head. Kennedy said there is no comics, no stories, nothing to draw on, nothing to see here. Just ignore all that. Well, and that's why, this Star Wars, this new Star Wars, it wasn't made for me. So they obviously don't want my money.
Well, that's your choice. That's the wonderful thing about America. You can spend your money on what you want. And some people aren't going to be into it. Some people are. And that's fine. The thing is, we can still all get along because there's something we can agree with. I mean, I could talk Trek all day with you and the Fan Man.
And look, as far as marketing goes,
no matter what we think of Star Wars, we can still talk Star Trek and other things.
And let's face it, we're still gonna love up on the original trilogy. So that's always going to be.
That's always there.
I am looking forward to them marketing the toys for the Mandalorian, because blast it, I want to get one of those Mandalorian 3 3/4 inch action figures when they come out in April or whenever they get around to starting to put out toys, because I want one of those little 2-pronged electro guns for my my holiday special Boba Fett.
Yeah, the disintegration rifle. Poof.
No disintegrations.
It just makes people poof.
As you wish.
It's amazing what that thing would do to a Jawa. Poof. It was awesome. It was awesome. But so we reached the last topic, at least, that we had. I had.
Yep.
And we've talked some other bizarre.
I got a few in there too.
You got a few in there, and anything coming up on your channel that you want to promote, or?
No, I've actually had some people over on the Klingon side that are really pushing me. They want me to start doing some stuff on the Klingon channel proper. So I am kind of looking at that. I think if Mark keeps kicking my butt, maybe he'll push me into doing it.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
I just got myself a green screen, so as soon as I figure out how that works, I'm going to start. Yeah, and that's specifically for. That's
You're
specifically
going
for the
full
Klingon
out.
channel. Oh yeah, I wanna build. I want to put together a background for the monastery of Boreth. Uh, for my backdrop. So I kind of had to get a green screen for
Yeah,
that.
that's what I think the fan man's gonna get wants to get something like that, and they could do like great horror backgrounds, like
Right,
like that
right.
little lightning striking and everything. I think that'd be awesome for him.
Melissa Harris, good night. We're going to be wrapping up here ourselves.
Yeah, we're wrapping up. We've hit over the 2 hour mark, so uh,
And Mark promises that'll happen. He's going to kick my butt to get me working on my Klingon videos.
yeah, but
So that's what we'll be looking forward to in the future. But in the shorter term, what do we got going? We got
well, okay. In the short term, we have the Hobbit, which was had to be rescheduled, will be tomorrow night at 11
right.
on the Catholic Bible Geek channel. So he had something come up and he wasn't able to do it. And
Does Fan Man have something coming up on Friday?
Fanman will probably have something on Friday. I don't know what it'll take the form of. Keep an eye out on his Twitter.
Owen Lister wants Klingon ASMR.
Ooh, that would be.
I am not even sure how that would work.
What's that Ferengi thing where they get the
Umax.
Umax?
Umax. Yep.
Need a Umax channel. Just from my ears. And yeah, we got the Hobbit. I don't know what the fan is doing Friday. Hopefully he'll do something. Saturday night, not sure what time yet. I'm sure that'll be revealed once it all gets settled. On Professor Geek's channel, one night only, he's coming back, folks, for a rewatch of Superman Returns, since Brian and Ralph is returning to wearing the S shield in the CW Crisis event. We're going to watch him when he was originally had the S shield, and he should have had it for more than that. So we'll have a lot to enjoy about that one. Professor's already basically said he's got about 98% of that thing he's going to be talking, because he's got a lot to say. so that'll be fun. And like I said, a week after that, we're going to be watching the Die Hard. It will be the Change Al's Mind Die Hard event. We'll watch Die Hard, and you guys can try to convince me that it's a Christmas movie, or you can try.
Yep.
But hey, worst thing happens, all of us will have fun sitting there watching a great movie. We'll watch Die Hard. That'll be awesome. And I think by then, I think the week after that is your week. Do you have any idea, anything yet you might want to watch?
What would that be? That would be the
21st. So great
that'll
time
be
for
just before Christmas.
just before Christmas. Great time for Christmas flight.
So like I said, I wanna see what Fan Man is doing. If Fan Man does do the original Black Christmas, then I'll follow it up the following day with White Christmas.
Yeah, because I do have White Christmas as that before. I couldn't find Holiday Inn, but I haven't like gone for the full look either. So we'll see about that. And but after that, like I said, the new year coming, all kinds of great movies we'll be doing. Some great movies, some not so great movies, but hopefully at least fun. I'm gonna have to add Grease 2 on there, for God, concern it. Just to show you guys how fun it is. I'm kidding, but maybe I'm not. I haven't. My channel, I watch it, and however many people watch it with me, that's great. But new for me today, I put up a short, succinct review of Scream 3 on the Big Al's Review-orama, so you'll know what I thought of that movie. Not much, just so you know. In the short term, not much. Fanman was right. Not a good movie. Don't know if I don't, I'm trying to do a video. I don't know. I just don't seem to be able to get that together. But you know, we'll see what happens. Um, that's all I've got.
Yep.
Anything else to add, sir?
Nope. Nope. I think it was a good show.
You
I
know,
just appreciate all 18 of you that came out. Can we get 3 more thumbs up? That would be really, really awesome.
someone gave me a thumbs down. That means I'm doing my job. Hey, cannot please everyone, and that is fine. But yeah, if I get a few more thumbs up, that'd be nice. I want to thank everybody in the chat, all my Al pals, all the Pacelli peeps, for hanging out with us tonight and putting up with our ranting and our ravings. And thanks for throwing it. Henry Cavill should be Zod. Oh my God.
Yeah, I can
Sorry,
see that.
that was distracting. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's right. Witcher starts soon. You know what? Definitely we're gonna have to talk like Lost in Space is about to hit again. The second season of that. Oh, some good stuff coming up. Yay! Yay me. But yeah, thanks to everybody for putting up with us and throwing us some questions, keeping us in line when we could. And I do want to thank Mara Jade for throwing me the names when I couldn't think of them, which is why I really think it'd be awesome to have her on here.
I agree.
She could be the female brain that we so heartily need sometimes. We'll work on it. We'll see. I think she's more comfortable being the queen behind the scenes. God, for some reason, I kind of enjoyed that coming up with that.
She is awesome.
Yeah, DR. Yeah, I missed the memes too. I know, we'll figure it out. We'll get there. Like I said, yeah.
Are you guys doing memes for Al? I mean, if you are, I can help him to learn how to do the screen share like Professor Geek did. But you guys got to make the memes for him to look at.
Yeah, I don't see any, but that doesn't mean there's none there. I just got two. Woo! Look at her. Oh, sorry, got on my Twitter.
All right. Okay, I definitely have to show you how to share those memes then.
got distracted a little bit on that one. One of my friends from out west, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the other thing. If you're going to be sharing memes, you kind of got to be careful what shows up in your stream besides.
Yeah, that's one of the problems. Okay, everybody. I hope everybody has a great evening. Stay safe. And just so glad you joined us. Take care, everyone.
Kapla.